Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Anthea's Analogies. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Good morning to you, Vera. Lovely to see you. For those of you who are joining, good morning. This is where my analogy segment where I share something, compare it to something else. Because I'm a visual person, it helps me better understand. And I share these analogies with you once a week on a Thursday at 9 a.m. Now, no analogy can explain God to its full potential. So I do ask and have a hashtag, don't resist, relate. No analogy works 100% fully, but take the message that is given this morning. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. Sorry. Um, Bless me again. Excuse me. Sorry, people. Good morning. Welcome. It is that season. It is getting colder. Need to wrap up this morning. It's slightly colder here in the UK. So good morning. I've titled this one, What's Your Flavour? So this morning, excuse me, there's another one. Don't know what's happening to me this morning, people. This morning, I've named this one, What's Your Flavour? And when I talk about flavour, I am referring to flavours of tea, hot drinks. What is your favourite tea flavour? Put it in the comments, people. What is your favourite tea flavour? This morning, that's what we're looking at. Because today I'm thinking about the tea bag. Now, I think I may have done a similar analogy to this previously, but we will go with the flow in what Jesus has given me this morning. Good morning, Yvonne. Lovely to see you. What is your favorite? I'll put it in the comments. What is your favorite tea flavor? Vera says coffee. Okay, I get that. But I want to look at tea today. I really want to look at tea today. So, what is your favorite flavor of tea? Right, I can't spell here, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so what is your favorite flavor of tea? Put that in the comments, people. Vera has said coffee. I get that, but it won't work for my analogy this morning, I'm afraid, Vera. It's got to be a tea bag. Yvonne says chamomile and honey. Good morning, Rosie. Lovely to see you. What is your favorite flavor of tea? Rosie says Earl Grey. There are many different options. And just this morning, the analogy that the Lord has given me is to think about that tea bag. That tea bag. If I was to give you a tea bag outside of its packet and everything, nothing on it, Patrice says peppermint, lovely. If I was to give you a tea bag and say, here you go, what flavor is this tea bag? Now, you may be able to smell it. You may be able to smell it to determine the flavor. But until Vera says she drinks tea as well. That's good, Vera. What's your favorite flavor of tea? Until that hot water hits that tea bag, only then do you truly know the flavor of that tea. And just taking a look at the tea leaves within the bag. I don't drink tea personally, just to let you all know this. I don't drink tea, I don't drink coffee. Hot chocolate is my go-to. But this morning, we're thinking about tea. Silent partner, K Creations. She drinks tea. She loves it. Every minute she'll have her cup of tea. But for me, I'm not a tea drinker. But if you look at the tea leaves inside the tea bag, they do look a bit haggard. Don't get me wrong, they look a bit withered, dry, to me anyway, almost dead looking, just really, I don't know, just dry, lifeless, no kind of, yes, as you see, silent partner loves her cup of tea. Just looks all a bit dry and not well, to me anyway, inside the tea bag. But as soon as that tea bag is hit with some boiling water, it is transformed, and the true essence of the tea bag seeps out, and that's where you get your flavor. Now, this morning, the reason this came to me is to look at our lives. Now, we go through challenges, we go through hard times. And if we take ourselves as the tea leaf, if I was honest, right now I do feel a bit withered, tired, haggard, dry, maybe. As I said, the tea leaves look a bit dead looking, like they're a bit lifeless. You may be feeling a bit low at the moment, challenged, tired, run down of resources. You may not be feeling your full self. And what the analogy that God gave me this morning is that once we seek Him, seek the Holy Spirit, the living water. So once we immerse ourselves in the living water that is Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, only then our true flavor then comes to life. Our true flavor then seeps out. Our true flavor then can be deduced. Now, as you've all given me, there are very many varied flavors of tea that you can get. The packaging may look the same, but the flavors are different. And each of us have our own unique flavor. However, in order for that flavor to come out, for that flavor to flourish, it has to be immersed in some hot water in order for it to come out. And this morning, what I want us to think about is what hot water is going on in your life at the moment. And then to think about how you going through that hot water at the moment is actually what is helping to bring out your true flavor. Now, yesterday, Karen spoke about being able to access joy and that our strength is in God, which allows us to access that joy within. And although we may be in hot water at the moment, it's that process of immersing ourselves in the Holy Spirit, which is our living water, that allows us to be able to still access joy within us, even though the hot water is challenging, even though what we are going through doesn't feel so great. Let's give you some verses to help with that. So in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13, that's Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13, it says, "For my people have done two evil things. They have abandoned me the fountain of living water, and they have dug for themselves cracked cisterns that can hold no water at all. Now, you may be feeling that way in this time. As I said, we may be feeling dry, we may be feeling withered, we may be feeling tired, we may be feeling overwhelmed, we may be feeling challenged, we may be feeling like things are not going the way they should. However, that is where God is pleading for us to access the living water that will revitalize us, that will fulfill us, that will lead and guide us, that will show us the way, that will comfort us, that will, surround us, that will lead us to the Father to be able to enjoy that joy that He's placed within us and that strength that He's given us. It says in that verse, they have abandoned me, the fountain of living water. Do we need to go back to that fountain this morning? In John chapter 7, verse 38, it says, anyone who believes in me may come and drink. For the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart. That's John chapter 7, verse 38. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink. For the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart. Now, this tea bag, as I said, in order for us to know the flavor, to be able to enjoy, get this tea bag to its fullest potential in order to drink it and enjoy it, we have to boil hot water and apply it in order to get the flavor from it. It says, anyone who believes in me may come and drink. That belief, we have to look at our belief to know that we have access to rivers of living water that will flow from our heart. We have the Holy Spirit within us. And that is what the living water is that is referred to in the Bible. Because it says here in John chapter 7, verse 39, John chapter 7, verse 39, it says, when he said living water, he was speaking of the Spirit who would be given to everyone believing in him. But the Spirit had not yet been given because Jesus had not entered into his glory. That was John chapter 7, verse 39. Jesus had to go. He said to his disciples that he has to go in order for him to be able to send the one to come. This is in actually John, let's go to the verse. John 16, verse 7. John 16, verse 7, where he is explaining to the disciples, but in fact, it is best for you that I go away, because if I don't, the advocate won't come. if I do go away, then I will send him to you. Now, the advocate is the Holy Spirit, which we already heard in the previous verse. When he refers to living water, he is speaking of the Spirit. It says, it is best for you that when I go away, because if I don't, the advocate won't come. Jesus had to do what he had to do, fulfill his purpose in life, which was dying on the cross, so that he could send the advocate to us, which is the living water that will give us life. So as that tea bag, those tea leaves that look so tired and withered and dead and, just dry, we have been given the advocate, the living water, the Holy Spirit that will revitalize and bring to life and bring out the unique flavors that each one of us have. That even though we go through trials and sorrows and challenging times, that water, in the analogy, the hot water that brings out the flavor may be challenging for us. We may have to go through that period of hard time, but it's that pressing and that pressure and that boiling water that brings out our flavor. It says in John 16:33, which you all may have already highlighted. It says, John 16, verse 33, it says, I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth, you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world. Take heart. So yes, in our tea bag of life, that is a bit dry and withered, tiresome, challenging sometimes. As it says in that verse, you may have many trials and sorrows. Take heart. Jesus has died on the cross to send his advocate, the living water, that we have access to, that will revitalize those tea leaves and bring out the flavors within each one of us, bring out the purpose that he has given us. So we may stand, walk tall, hold our head up high, get access to the joy and the peace, even though everything around us, as I always say, is chaotic. We still, through the Holy Spirit that resides within us, are able to access that living water to bring out our true flavors. So this morning, I'd just like you all to reflect on what challenges are you going through at this moment in time. But also, not only focus on the challenge that you're going through, but what flavor is it then bringing out in you? The song I'm going to play for us this morning is called Let Your Living Water Flow Over My Soul. This is an old song that I grew up on and I loved it. It was my favorite. And this morning, as we're talking about living water, the Spirit, the Advocate, the Paraclete, what we're talking about is the Holy Spirit. And the words of the song goes like this: let your living water flow over my soul. Let your Holy Spirit come and take control of every situation that has troubled my mind. All my cares and burdens unto you I roll. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Father, Father, Father. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit. It says, wipe away all doubt and fear and take my pride. Draw me to your love and keep me by your side. And the final verse tells us to give your life to Jesus. Let him fill your soul. Let him take you in his arms and make you whole. As you give your life to him, he'll set you free. You will live and reign with him eternally. Now, we're all going through things. We're all going through challenges. The key is to let go. Allow God to set you free. As you give your life to him, he'll set you free. You will live and reign with him eternally. We have to go through the hard stuff. He says there will be many trials and sorrows. But think about how those trials and sorrows, that hot water, is what is enabling us to bring out the true flavor, the purpose within each one of us, which is unique to each one of us. I will stop talking. Let us listen to the song. I'm really taking the words this morning about that living water that you have access to.
Let your living water flow over my soul. Let your Holy Spirit come and take control of every situation that has troubled my mind. All my cares and burdens unto you I roll. your Holy Spirit come and take control of every situation that has troubled my mind. All my cares and burdens unto you I roll.
All my cares and burdens unto you I roll. Just remember this morning, the one thing I want you to remember this morning, that the hot water that you may be going through right now may just be the thing to release the intensified flavor that you have within you. Know that that Holy Spirit resides within you, that living water for you to access. Go to the fountain and access at any time once you believe. Believe this morning and know that you can access the joy amidst the pain and the sorrow and the challenge because you have the advocate, that Holy Spirit. Have a great day. Join us tomorrow for Thankful Fridays. And yes, access that fountain. Have a good day. God bless you all. Bye-bye.